Hello, everyone. Welcome back. This is going to be The Power of Now, A Guide to Spiritual Enlightenment by Eckhart Tolle. I'm going to read chapter 8, the rest of it today, part 2. And this is about this chapter I've been reading is about enlightened relationships, to guide you through relationships, to have healthy patterns of relationships. I'm going to start by reading From Addicted to Enlightened Relationships. Can we change addicted relationship into a true one? Yes, being present and intensifying your presence by taking your attention ever more deeply into the now, whether you are living alone or with a partner, this remains the key. For love to flourish, the light of your presence needs to be strong enough so that you no longer get taken by the thinker, but the pain of the body and mistake them for the who. Who are you? To know yourself as the being underneath the thinker, the stillness underneath the mental noise, the love, the joy underneath the pain is salvation, freedom, and enlightenment. To disidentify from the pain body is to bring present into the body and transmute it. Transmute it, and then to disidentify. To disidentify from the thinking is to be silent watcher of your thoughts and behavior, especially if the repetitive patterns of your mind and roles played by the ego. If you stop investing, if it was selfness, the mind loses its compulsive quality, which basically is the compulsion to judge so that you could resist what is, which creates conflict, drama, and new pain. In fact, the moment that the judgment stops, through acceptance of what is, you are free of the mind, which basically is the compulsion to judge and so resist what is, which conflicts, drama, conflict, and new pain. In fact, at the moment of the judgment stops through acceptance of who, what it is, and who you are free of the mind, free from the ego. Now you're free from everything around you. You made from room for love, for joy, for peace. First you stop judging yourself, then stop judging your partner. The greatest catalyst for change in a relationship is to complete acceptance of your partner, of who or she is. So it doesn't matter about sexuality, or race, religion, or whatever. Just accept whoever they are. Love is all that matters. That immediately takes you beyond ego. All mind games and all addictive clean then are over. There are no victims and no perpetrators anymore, no accuser and accused. This is all the end of codependency, of being drawn into somebody else conscious pattern and therefore enabling it to continue. You will then either separate in love or move in more deeply into the now together, into being. Can it be simple? Yes. Is that simple? Love is a state of being. Your love is not outside, it is deep within you. You can never lose it and you can never leave it. It is not dependent on the same other body, some external form. It is a stillness into your presence. You could feel your own formless and timeless reality as unmanifested life that emanates your physical form. You can then feel the same body deep within every other human and every creature. You look beyond the veil of form and separation. This is the realization of oneness. This is love. What is God? The eternal one life underneath all forms of life. What is love? To feel the presence of one's life deep within yourself and within all creatures. To be it, all love is love of God.
Love is not a selective, just as the light of the sun is not selective. It does not make one person special. It is not exclusive. Exclusivity is not the love of God, but the love of ego. However, the intensities with which true love is left can vary. There may be one person who reflects your loves back to you more clearly and more instantly than others. And if that person feels the same towards you, it can be said that you are in a love relationship with him or her. The bond that connects you with this person is the same bond that connects with you with the person sitting next to you on a bus, or with a bird, a tree, a flower. Only The degree of intensities with which it is felt differs. Even when the otherwise addictive relationship, there may be beyond your mutual addictive beliefs. These are moments when both your and your partner's minds briefly outside and pain's bodies is temporarily in a dormant state. This may sometimes happen during the physical intimacies, or when you are the both witnesses of miracles of children's birth, or in the presence of death, or when one of you is seriously ill, anything that renders the mind powerless. When this happens, when this happens, your being, which is usually buried underneath the mind, becomes revealed. It is this time to make true communications possible. True communications is common, common in the realizations of oneness, which is love. Usually, this is quickly lost again unless you are able to stay present enough to see out the mind of it and its old patterns. As soon as the mind and mind identifications returns, you are no longer with yourself to mental images of yourself. You start playing games and roles again to get your ego needs met. You are a human mind again, pretending to be a human being, interacting with another mind, playing with a dharma called love. Although brief glimpses are possible, love cannot flourish unless you are permanently free of mind identifications with your presence is instant enough to have dissolved to pain body, or you can at least remain present as the watcher. The pain body cannot then take you over and so becomes destructive of love. Relationship as spiritual practice. As an egoic mode of consciousness, in all the socialist, political, and economic structures that is created enter the final stage of collapse. The relationships between men and women reflect the deep state of crisis in which humanity now finds itself. As humans have become increasingly identified with their mind, most relationships are not rooted in being and so turn into a source of pain and becomes dominated by problems and conflicts. Millions are now living alone or as single parents, unable to establish an intimate relationships or unwilling to repeat the insane drama of past relationships. Others go from relationship to another, from one pleasures and pain cycles to another, in search of elusive goals of fulfillment through unions and opposite energies polarity. Still others compromise and continue to be together in a dysfunctional relationship in which negativities prevails for the sake of their trillions or securities through force of habits, fear of being alone, or being some others mutually beneficial arguments, or even through the unconscious addictions to the excitement of emotional drama and pain. However, the crisis represents not only dangers but also opportunity. If relationships energize and magnify egoic mind patterns and addictive the pain bodies as they do at this time, why not accept this fact rather than try to escape from it? Why not cooperate with the instance of avoiding relationships or continuing to pursue the platinum of the ideal patterns as an answer to your problems or means to the feeling fulfilled? The opportunity that is concealed with every crisis does not manifest until all the facts of any given situations are acknowledged and fully accepted. As long as you deny them, as long as you try to escape from them or wish to do things were different, the window of opportunity does not open up, and you remain trapped inside the situations, which will remain the same or deteriorated further. With the acknowledgement and acceptance of the facts also comes a degree of freedoms from them. For example, when you know there is a disharmony and hold the knowing through your knowing and the new factor has come in, and the disharmonies cannot remain unchanged has come in, and the disharmony cannot remain unchanged. When you know you are not in a peace, or knowing creates a still space of surrounds your non-peace in a loving and tender embrace, and then transmuted your non-peace into peace. As far as your inner transformations is concerned, there is nothing that you can do about it. You cannot transform yourself, and certainly cannot transform your partner or anybody else. Yeah, all you can do is create a space for transformation to happen, for grace and to love enter.
So whenever your relationship is not working, whenever it brings out the madness into you and your partner, be glad what was unconscious in being brought up to the light. It is an opportunity for salvation. Every moment holds an knowing of the moment, particularly of your inner state. There is if there's anger, know that there is anger. If there is jealousy, defensiveness, the urge to argue, the need to be right, an inner child demanding love and attention, emotional pain of any kind, whatever it is, know the reality of the moment and hold the knowing. The relationship then becomes a sadhana, your spiritual practice. If you observe unconscious behavior, if your partner holds in the loving embrace of your inner knowing, so that you won't react, unconscious and knowing that cannot coexist for long, even if the knowing is only the other person, not only the one who is acting out of the consciousness. The energy form that lies behind hostility and attacks finds the presence of love absolutely intolerable. If you react to your partner's unconsciousness, you become unconscious yourself. But if you do remember that the reaction, nothing is lost. Humanity is under great pressure and evolve because its only chance of survival as a race. This is what will affect every aspect of your life, and close relationships in particular. Never never before have relationships been problematic and conflict ridden as they are now. As you may have noticed, that they're not here to make happy or unfulfilled. If you continue to pursue the goal of salvation through a relationship, you will be delusioned again and again. But if you accept that the relationship here is now to make you conscious instead of happy, then the relationship will offer you salvation, and then you'll be aligning yourself with higher consciousness that wants to be born into this world. For those who hold the old patterns that there is increasing pain, violence, confusion, madness, I suppose that it takes to make the relationship into a spiritual practice as you suggest. For example, my partner is still acting out his old patterns of jealousy and control. I have pointed this out many times, but he isn't able to see it. How many people does it make to life of spiritual practice? Never mind if your partner will not cooperate. Sanity consciousness can come into this world through you. You do not need to wait until the world or become the same, or somebody else to become conscious before you can be enlightened. You may wait forever. Do not accuse each other of being unconsciousness. The moment you start to argue and you identify the mental position that you are now defending, not only the position but also your sense of self. The ego is in charge. You may become unconscious at times. It may be appropriate to point certain aspects of your partner's behavior. If you are very alert, very present, you could do so without ego involvement, without blaming, accusing, or making the other wrong. When your partner behaves unconsciously, Relinquish all judgment. Judgment is either confuse someone's unconscious behavior with who they are and to project your own unconsciousness onto another person and mistake that for who they are. To relinquish judgment does not mean that you are recognizing dysfunction and unconsciousness when you see it. It means also being the knowing rather than being reaction and to judge. You will then either totally free of reaction or may react to still the knowing. The spaces which the reaction is watched aloud and not allowed to be. Instead of fighting the darkness, you bring into the light. Instead of reacting to delusion, you see delusion yet the same through same time look through it. Being the knowing creates a clear space and loving presence that allows all things and all people to be as they are. No greater catalyst for transformation exists. If you practice this, your partner cannot stay with you and remain unconsciousness. Stop here.
Can I have a scene of work?
Okay, we'll stop here and I will read the rest at home later.
If you both agree that the relationship will be your spiritual practice, so much the better. You can then express your thoughts and feelings to each other, and as soon as they occur, as soon as the reactions comes up, so that you do not create a time gap in which is the unexpressed, unexpressed or acknowledged emotions and grievance. It can faster and grow. Learn to give expressions to what you feel without blaming. Then learn to listen to your partner in an open, undefensive way. Give your partner space to express himself or herself. Be present. Accusing, defending, attacking, all those patterns will all those patterns that are designed to strengthening or protect the ego or to get its needs met will then becomes redundant. Giving space to others and to yourself is vital. Love cannot flourish without it. When you have removed the two factors that are destructors of relationship, when the pain body has been transmuted and you are no longer identified with mind and mental positions, and if your partner has done the same, you will experience the bliss of the flowering of the relationship. Instead of the mirroring to each other's your pain and your unconsciousness, instead of satisfying your mutual addictive ego needs, you will reflect back to each other's to love that you feel deep within. The love that comes with the realizations of your oneness with all that it is. This is the love that has no opposite.
Okay, everyone, we'll continue back on part 3. We're finishing up here because it's getting dark. But we'll finish up part 3 for this chapter, for chapter 8 for enlightened relationships. Okay, everyone, we'll have a good one. Bye-bye now.